I'm Jason Epperson. This is RV Miles, and it's time for the latest in RV and camping news. Welcome back, everybody. After lots of ups and downs and ons and offs surrounding the topic of tariffs, a huge swath of tariffs are set to go into effect later this week, and many in the RV industry are holding their breath to see what the effects are going to be. We don't know all the details yet. President Donald Trump is set to announce widespread tariffs on imported goods on Wednesday morning. It might not be as significant to the cost of building an actual RV as one would think. Most of the components are, in fact, made in the USA, from most air conditioners to power panels and trailer chassis, which are made with more American steel than people think as well. Still, there are certainly many components that aren't made in the US, like TVs and refrigerators in particular. Motorhome chassis are a mixed bag, with most made in America, with notable exceptions like the Ram ProMaster chassis. And even though Ford's gasoline motorhome chassis is made in the US, the engine is made in Canada. The biggest immediate concern for the RV industry is retaliatory tariffs. Canada buys about 10% of the RVs made in the US. The long-term concern is whether people buy as many pickup trucks with tariff pricing. Many trucks are built in Mexico and Canada, and of course, many parts and materials are imported. People that buy trucks buy trailers, and if people are unwilling to buy trucks, it's a big problem for the RV industry. That said, truck buyers haven't shown much price sensitivity over the past few years. A lot remains to be seen across the economy, of course, but where I think some motorhomes and truck prices will go up pretty much immediately, pricing changes for trailers and some other motorhomes are probably going to take some time, as it's really the increase in component prices, and RV manufacturers have been stocking up in anticipation of tariffs. It's going to be when they place orders for materials and parts down the line. Yosemite National Park will go forward, after all, with timed entry reservations this year. The White House has approved a new system for Yosemite. You may recall they held off on this plan in December, wanting to know if the Trump administration would be behind it. They now appear to be behind a modified plan. It will be similar to the previous system, but with fewer hours and a shorter seasonal window. From May 24th through June 15th and August 16th through August 31st, the park will only require reservations on weekends between 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. Between June 16th and August 15th, the park will require reservations every day during the same hours. For comparison, in 2024, the park required time entry reservations from April 13th to October 27th between 5 a.m. and 4 p.m., with reservations required every day from July 1st to August 16th and weekends the rest of the time. There are a lot of vocal people that are really angry about these timed entry programs. I see y'all in the comments. You talk about this a lot. These programs are really only in a handful of parks, but the people that actually use them seem to be happy with them. An independent study from the University of Utah showed 84% of participants wanting Arches National Park to continue implementing a reservation system in the future, and 78% of respondents in a Rocky Mountain National Park survey. Reservations for Yosemite will be available through recreation.gov, as they are for the other parks that participate in similar programs, beginning on April 17th for Yosemite, but the full details on the blocks of dates to be released have not been announced. Similar to the previous system, visitors with camping and lodging reservations or backpacking permits will not need an entry permit, and if you don't get one, you can still enter the park before 6 a.m. or after 3 p.m., or at any time if you come in on the Yosemite Area Regional Transportation System, or YARTS buses. If you want more national park news, our monthly National Park News Roundup is moving to our new Parkography channel. Parkography is the new name for our America's National Parks podcast, and it's going to have a video version now too, along with news reports like this one, but about national parks and other public lands. I'll still be doing major national park news, particularly stuff related to RVing and camping here in the RV Miles news, but I'll be expanding the national park and public lands coverage over on Parkography. Our first news roundup will drop tomorrow, April 1st. I hope you'll come over and subscribe. There's a link in the description. More in a moment, but first, this episode is sponsored by Wholesale Warranties. Whether you're chasing sunsets on the open road or settling into your favorite campground, Unexpected repairs can put a major wrench in your travel plans. That's where Wholesale Warranties comes in, your travel companion for peace of mind in 2025 and beyond. Unfortunately, it isn't a matter of if your RV will break down, it's when. A single repair can cost thousands, but an extended warranty through our friends at Wholesale Warranties means your travel budget is covered. With over 2 decades of experience in the RV community, Wholesale Warranties knows RVers. They offer top-rated RV warranty coverage tailored to you and your RV and back it with 5-star customer service and no waiting period. You have the flexibility to use any repair tech in the US or Canada, including mobile techs. Tire and wheel protection is included with every plan and more. Make 2025 your best year of travel yet. Visit wholesalewarranties.com to get your free no obligation quote today and hit the road with peace of mind for tomorrow. The makers of Black Series adventure travel trailers are trying to evict a group of squatters who took over a storage lot of 50 brand new Black Series trailers in City of Industry, California. The squatters started taking over the overflow storage area months ago. Since then, they've piled up massive mounds of trash and debris, and the RVs appear to be in terrible condition, as shown by a KCAL helicopter camera. The individual units are valued between $40,000 and $100,000 each. Pathfinder, a group of Canadian campgrounds, has noticed a huge increase in reservations, driven in part by ongoing Canada-US tensions that are leading more Canadians to vacation locally. According to the company's latest reservation data, as reported in Woodall's Campground magazine, bookings for April 2025 are 48% higher than the same period last year. Looking further ahead, advanced bookings for the upcoming months are already up by nearly 10% year over year. Management also anticipates a potential surge in demand for winter, speculating that many snowbirds may choose to remain in Canada rather than travel to warmer destinations like Arizona, Southern California, or Florida. Zion National Park has announced it will prohibit oversized vehicles from traveling the Zion Mount Carmel Highway, including its historic 1.1-mile tunnel. Vehicles taller than 11 foot 4 inches, wider than 7 foot 10, longer than 35 foot 9, or heavier than 50,000 pounds will be rerouted. Previously, you could pay a permit fee. They would close the tunnel and allow you to drive down the middle of it with other RVs. The decision follows decades of issues, including traffic standstills, crashes, and vehicles getting stuck inside the tunnel. The reroute will add 10 to 45 minutes of travel, depending on which way you're coming from, for many RVers and tour buses. Park officials cite both safety concerns and the need to preserve the historic infrastructure. If you've driven it, you know it's a tight squeeze. AccuWeather's 2025 Atlantic season forecast warns of another volatile year, predicting 13 to 18 named storms, including up to 10 hurricanes and as many as 5 major hurricanes. Lead forecaster Alex De Silva says high ocean heat content and warm sea surface temperatures could again fuel rapid intensification of storms, especially before landfall, like Beryl, Helene, and Milton in 2024. A shift toward La Nina by fall could bring a busy late season spike in activity, and areas at higher than average risk for landfalls include the northern Gulf Coast, the Carolinas, and the northeastern Caribbean. The forecast also calls for 3 to 6 direct U.S. impacts and warns that inland areas far from the coast aren't immune from damage. I don't know how accurate AccuWeather's hurricane season predictions have been in the past, but the National Hurricane Center should release its prediction late May. They do it just 2 weeks before the season starts, but they've been very accurate with those. They predicted last season almost exactly, so be on the lookout for that if you're considering being in some of the hurricane-affected areas during the course of hurricane season. South Dakota Governor Larry Roden has signed 2 bills into law that will significantly change how full-time RVers can vote in the state. I reported last week that these bills had passed the legislature, but had yet to be signed. They have now been signed. The new laws target thousands of nomadic residents who use South Dakota as their legal domicile due to its tax benefits and lenient residency requirements. House Bill 1066 requires a person to have spent at least 30 consecutive days at a single physical location in South Dakota at some point in their life to be eligible to vote in the state. Previously, a single overnight stay was enough to claim residency and register to vote. You can still claim residency with one night, though that's very important. House Bill 1208, now also signed into law, provides a fallback option. RVers who can't prove A 30-day stay can still register, but only for a federal-only absentee ballot, allowing them to vote in presidential and congressional elections, but not in state or local races. Lawmakers say the bills are in response to concerns about out-of-state influence in local elections. There are good arguments on both sides of this. Lots of you chimed in the comments last week. I think where I've landed is that full-time RVers should be able to vote in federal elections, obviously, but they should also be able to vote for their state legislature. Those people determine the laws that affect their health care, their insurance, their privacy, all sorts of other laws, and we're all required to have a state as our domicile. So if South Dakota wants the money from people registering their RVs there, high registration fees, along with things like insurance taxes and all sorts of stuff like that, people should have the right to vote for laws that affect them. But if the state doesn't believe they should have a say in county and city issues, so be it. That's not what's happening, though. It's going to be federal elections only unless you stay in the state for 30 days. It's a beautiful state. It's worth it. Just book a campground for a month once and you're done. RV shipments rose again in February with 32,871 units shipped, an increase of 6% over February 2024, according to the latest RV Industry Association report. Year-to-date shipments are up 12.7%, totaling 60,500 units through the end of February. Towable RVs, especially conventional travel trailers, led the growth with a 9.9% increase, while motorhome shipments declined 20.1% compared to the same time last year. It's really about the mix of RVs. People are just buying the cheaper stuff right now, along with some of the more expensive stuff, but it's mostly in the trailer segments. Motorhomes have been trending down for years and years and years, but it's really bad right now. So it's good to see the overall numbers going up. We'll see what happens when the round of next actual sales numbers comes out. That's what really matters. People are actually buying. And the latest Black Book RV market report shows a split in wholesale RV values, with towables seeing a rebound and motorhomes taking a hit. Motorhomes averaged $54,851 in the auction lanes, down 13.4% from the previous month. Towables averaged $17,660, up 10.9%, snapping a 3-month decline. Auction volume was also up sharply. Motorhome sales increased 28%. Towables rose 16%. Black Book says dealers report that they're stocking up on RVs for the anticipated spring surge in buyers that happens every year. That's it for this week's RV and camping news roundup. Again, make sure to head over to the Parkography channel. It's here somewhere, and hit the like button if you got something out of this video. Subscribe if you want more like it, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.